Hi, it's Emily from Great Design Lead. So today I am on award.com and I'm looking for websites to check out. In the background of this video, you might hear a collar rustling or jingling sounds. There's a dog right next to me and he finally stopped barking, so jingling of collar perfectly fine with me. So that's just to explain that. um but yeah, so the one that I wanted to do a recording of today is I've never seen the site. I just saw this preview of it. It is traces a digital time capsule, and it's by Alex Watson, and it says we present Marina Abramovic, and so I guess I'll just check it out. So I'll click here. Site of the day from November 6th, 2021. Shh. um, yeah, traces a digital time capsule by wheat transfer from the Netherlands. Okay, so let's visit the site. Chill. This dog just looked at me, looked into my eyes. I said, chill, and he went, I'll make it through this. Oh my god, okay. Relax. Here. Go get it. Okay. Okay, here's the first reaction to the video. We present Maria Abramovic. Maria has lived an extraordinary life, dedicating her existence to art. Her work focuses not on physical objects, but a transfer of energy from the elusive chemistry between people to the passing of time. It's these moments of connection that the artist wants to immortalize, doing so here by preserving 5 objects into an immersive digital time capsule. Use headphones for best experience. Okay. Enter experience. Was that an aura? Ooh. Oh. Here, I'm going to get rid of this little menu. Wow. Quartz stones. So this is the forward. What the heck? Wow. It kind of gives the same impression of a. Here, I'll turn it up so you can hear it. A similar impression to when you go to an IMAX movie or something like that. Like fully immersive. What are these things? Oh, these are paintings. Rose of Jericho. The Pain of Others. Getty Images. Weird. So some of them are objects. Some of them are paintings, like Starry Night. Rose of Jericho. Huh. Okay, so obviously forward seems like a call to action. So what's the forward? Marina will pack lightly for her trip to Mars. If the red planet were accepting visitors today, she would be on the next shuttle. The artist says, delighting in the sense of cosmic possibility and the unknown. And am I really going to take the painting with me to another planet? She asked, laughing. Thinking of the future, we have to start living in the immaterial world. What does that mean? One in which cherishing physical objects falls short of recognizing the transfer of energy between each other. She continues, being human beings and nature between artists and the public. Huh. Marina's art celebrates such eff- eff- effability, affability. The elusive chemistry between people, the energy of the room, the effects of time, shared experience, what she calls the big picture. What big picture led thousands to queue? That big picture led thousands to queue outside the New York Museum of Modern Art in 2010 for the chance to sit across from her, a mutual gaze as the participants of the artist is present. Today, the artwork endures through photographs or thousands of little pictures that can never truly be preserved. In the 1970s and 80s, with her late ex-partner Yule, Marina also negated physical possession. The partners lived in a van as nomads, rejecting the idea of a more traditional brick and mortar studio. They purposely denied the existence of their two separate bodies, blurring the border between one another, between self and public. I wonder what that means. Performance works such as Relation in Time 1977, for example, bound the artists together by their hair for 17 hours straight, both feeding off the energy of a live audience. This is a very interesting lady. Thinking of the future, we have to start living in the immaterial world. I don't know if you care that I'm reading through this, but it sounds interesting. In 1988, Marina completed a journey almost as ambitious as traveling to Mars, walking 2,500 kilometers of the Great Wall of China to meet Yule in the middle. Their final performance together, called The Lovers, afterward wishing to transfer this experience to the public rather than simply describe it, Marina incorporated transitory objects to her repertoire, minerals from the earth in which the public was invited to connect physically during a duration of time. The artist continues welcoming the public as participants of her latest works, whether or not she is physically present. She predicates her Abramovic method on ongoing large-scale participatory project on creating durational experiences for anyone wishing to engage. Marina summarizes her outlook through a title reappearing across her works: boat emptying / stream entering, the only way to enter the stream that brings you to a future and new ideas, she says. And empty your boat physically and mentally. Carry too much unnecessary weight with you, and your boat begins to sink. It becomes a little surprise. Then, when asked to create a time capsule of objects important to her, and which communicate something about her art and worldview for future generations, the artist selects 5 items that have little to do with material possession. Rather, Marina's capsule for future generation preserves connections she has made with nature and with people through her art, friendships, travels, losses, and joys. The items on her list are conduits to important experiences and memories, both personal and universal. She does not own these items in any traditional sense. They belong to nature, history, the public, and the cosmos. These are items that keep our proverbial boat afloat. This is a very interesting lady. Okay, where do I go from here? Um, so the forward. Okay, what's the so we have the quartz stones, a stone from Mars, the Starry Night, the Rose of Jericho, and regarding the pain of others. So I feel like the stone is the easiest thing to understand. The entire memory of the planet is stored. Oh, wait, I'm going to refresh that because I didn't actually read it. Okay. Oh, I guess if you refresh it, it brings you back to the beginning. I'm going to enter the experience. I'm going to skip that. And now I'm going to go to the quartz stones. Alright, back where we were. The entire memory of the planet is stored in a quartz crystal. I didn't have enough time to read the second one. Okay. What? Oh, this is interactive. Oh, that is so cool. Okay. Read more. Oh, bye. Oh, this isn't too long. Okay. No, come back. Come back. Okay. When I walked the Great Wall of China, I noticed different terrain below my feet: clay, red rock, iron, copper, Tortelmean, and there was Quartz. Every evening when I finished walking, I would go to the nearest village and ask to speak with the oldest person living there. One time, they found a woman who was 120 years old. These elders would tell me stories about the area I had just walked, mythical stories about dragons, connecting the quality of the terrain to its effect on the mind. I started reflecting on how the terrain made me feel. How did I feel after walking on iron? How did I feel after walking on quartz? I began to understand the Earth as a human body. Quartz crystals are the eyes of the planet. Tourmaline, the liver, hematite, the iron, and the blood running through the planet. Copper is the nervous system. Amethyst is the mind. For me, quartz has remained the most powerful material of all. The entire memory of the planet is stored in a quartz crystal. The Lovers was my first performance without an audience. Even though I had taken the journey alone, I wanted to find a way to transmit my experience to others. In 1989, I started making transitory objects. These are structures that incorporate specific materials, minerals, crystals, for the audience to experience physically and emotionally. They are not sculptures. The audience participates in the work. Time is as important for the experience as the object. Quartz crystals are used across cultures for healing, reading the future, and connecting with our planetary system's higher vibrations. And then this is the last paragraph. When I showed my transitory objects in Amsterdam, I asked an American couple, hey, America, I asked an American couple sitting on two crystal pillows. Instructions asked the public to feel the energy in their systems. The couple did not recognize me as the artist, and one said to the other, I've been sitting here for 15 minutes. Do you feel anything? The other said, not a thing. Let's go get a hamburger. Go team. It still makes me laugh. Me too. Because these works and connections are not about hocus pocus, they're about time, about emptying yourself, about connection. Quartz crystals are used across cultures for healing, reading the future, and connecting with our planetary system's higher vibrations. I have little quartz crystals with me at all times to give me the right vibration. I think they help me see things clearly. Anyway, I am thinking of buying a blonde wig for more moments like that so I can go around unnoticed and hear what people say about their experience. I like her. I'm not a big crystal person, but I do like that she's a good sport about it. Okay. Uh Next. Oh, I'm clicking on this and nothing's happening. Oh, okay. Was Okay, regarding the pain of others. As a continuation of the same melancholy of exploring how we are all connected to each other's pain. My work, too, is about this connection. Okay, I didn't have enough time to read the next one. Oh, this is covering up a little bit right in this corner. Maybe it's I'm on a MacBook Air, if you know those dimensions. Maybe this is set for a larger desktop, but that's a thing. Okay, how long is this one? Oh, not too bad. Okay. Let's do it, everybody. All right. I met Susan Sontag in 2000 at a small birthday party of Klaus Beisenbach, artistic director for the MOCA Los Angeles. Something of arts, maybe? College of Arts. Klaus invited 4 guests to his small New York apartment. Me, Boric, Bjork, Matthew Barney, and Susan. With no place to sit, we piled on the bed, ate pretzels, drank Diet Coke, and watched Pasolini's Thelema. Susan and I had both seen the film many times, so we ignored it and talked about her time in Sarajevo, where she staged Waiting for Godot, like Gal Gadot, during the siege. When we had a great time telling dirty jokes, she had such a great sense of humor. We shared a cab that night and exchanged numbers. I was too shy to call her. I had read many of Susan's books, and she was bigger than life to me. I have many experiences like that, meeting people that are it's weird when, especially with the podcast and everything, I start talking to people that I kind of like, I don't know if the word is idolize, but I regard very highly, and I know a significant amount about them before I even meet them. So it is kind of strange. Um, Anyway, I had read many of Susan's books, and she was bigger than life to me. In 2002, I was performing The House with the Ocean View at Sean Kelly Gallery. For 12 days, the audience could see me on a suspended platform, and I had a strong light in me and saw the public only as a shadow. I didn't realize Susan was there every day until she left a note written on a restaurant napkin. This piece is great. Call me. We are close friends from then on. We shared a cab that night and exchanged numbers, but I was too shy to call her. I had read, oh, okay, this is a call out. And then, yeah, last three. She published Regarding the Pain of Others in those years, the book about different ways individuals and societies regard war photography and gruesome imagery. Interesting. Is particularly important to giving the suffering of the world today. I also connect it to her own pain. Susan was a big survivor, having survived cancer 3 times before her death. Wow. She never talked about the book to me while she was writing it, but I witnessed her incredibly interesting process. Every room in her house, full of suitcases and books, had a table and a computer with a different work in progress. An essay, criticism, or chapter. Depending on her mood that day, she would go into one room and continue. I love how she dedicated each space to a different memory or part of herself. Early in our friendship, Susan gave me a book of letters between Rilke, Marina Marina T, Patersnack. She had written the preface for the English translation, Letters, Summer 1926. Susan didn't know it, but my mother had given me the same book when I was 18. It was always so important to me, having to do so much with pain, with tragedy, melancholy, depression, and pain. Regarding the Pain of Others is a continuation of that same melancholy, of exploring how we're all connected to each other's work. My work, too, is all about this connection. Huh. Okay. Wow. Oh. So yeah, so the picture is a Japanese child who's the victim of a disease being held by her mother. Oh, that's sad. Okay. Next one. Oh, okay. Let's try this again. I think you can't click on it directly. You have to kind of click outside of the button. Oh, wait. Regarding the pain of others. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what else is here. So we did Regarding the Pain of Others and Quartz Stone. What about a stone from... Did we do a stone from Mars? No, I don't think we did. Stone from Mars. This little stone from Mars reminded me that we don't truly understand the mechanics of our universe. Click and drag to explore. Wow. Is this interactive? The lighting is interactive, but the rock isn't. That's a really high definition of that rock. I wonder if that's really her rock. Okay, so read more. Read more. Okay. Okay, I can do this. Let's go. When I was a child, I would watch the sun go down through my bedroom window and imagine that those dust particles caught in the last rays of sunshine were little spaceships from another galaxy. We were surrounded by visitors, I thought, and didn't even realize it. I was always thinking this way. Who are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? I often visualize a big cosmic lady kicking us around our blue little Earth. In this vision, I felt we had no choices, no willpower, no ability to change. We had one clear destiny at the mercy of this cosmic lady. I thought about all of this again on my birthday a few years ago with my friend Paula Garcia, an artist and one of the creators of my institute. Gave me a completely mind-blowing present. It was a stone from Mars, an official certificate. I couldn't believe it. This stone traveled all the way to Earth, and now I had the luxury to connect it to another planet in our solar system through it. This little stone from Mars reminded me that we don't truly understand the mechanics of our universe. We are always busy with the small picture rather than the big picture. Our thoughts are almost always centered around ourselves. But when we have to get out of that, we have we have to have a big picture about the world. If the flight of a single bird can influence the wind in Madagascar, how can we truly understand the cause and effects of our lives on this planet? If we envision our personal lives as a little dot on a small blue planet, we will live differently. And that's the call out. I used to go to the planetarium at the American Museum of Natural History in New York to see and show about the Milky Way, or rather the outskirts of the Milky Way. Maybe this show was for kids, but I liked it for the same reason I do the stone from Mars. This little stone gave me the great possibility. It is a tool that allows me to travel to the big picture. I would like to create a work with meteorites one day and connect the public to the objects from another solar system. For now, this is just a dream, but it's a pity that there are still many years away from sending humans to live on Mars. However, otherwise, I would have already been there. Interesting. I also like the sound of this website and the fact that it goes down when you go into the article. That's pretty cool. Like here, when when I drive, I always turn the music off when I'm merging onto a highway or something like that because it helps me see better. So it feels the same when it comes to this website. Yeah, so let's go to Starry Night and then Rose of Jericho, and then I'll see the interview and about. So Starry Night. The Starry Night is particularly important to me because of its cosmic views in the world. It is through Van Gogh's sensitivity allowed him to see the. I tried. Wow. Okay. Okay, here we go. I thought she was Eastern European. Okay. I wonder if she's Serbian or Croatian or something. The reason I'm saying this is because it says in ex-Yugoslavia when she was an art student. But anyway, let's begin. When I was an art student in ex-Yugoslavia in the 1960s, the art books we received were so badly printed and the colors reproduced so poorly that they made the Impressionists look psychedelic. Only years later was I able to visit the Jeu de Paume Museum in Paris to see the Impressionists in person. I saw then that I had completely misunderstood the works of those horribly printed books. So after I moved to Amsterdam in 1970, I went to the Van Gogh Museum many times to see his colors as intended. I have a very emotional and physical reaction when I am looking at Van Gogh paintings. Sometimes you don't need to understand why something moves you intellectually. Sometimes your body understands before you understand. Van Gogh was like one of those rare artists who changed the way society thinks. Like Marcel Duchamp and Mark Rothko, Van Gogh was a true original, copied by hundreds of artists later, making different versions of his idea. Sometimes you don't need to understand why something moves you intellectually. Sometimes your body understands before you understand. And then last three. The Starry Night is particularly important to me because of its cosmic view of the world. It is as though Van Gogh's sensitivity allowed him to see the air's atomic structure. He painted what looks like an out of body experience, a version of reality in which particles, electricity move around different patterns. Maybe it's Van Gogh's version of the big picture, because I react very physically to this word. I don't know what she's saying by physically. Like, she cry, or I'm wondering what that means. One day, I would like to hang the Starry Night across from one chair in a otherwise empty room of a museum. One person at a time will be allowed to come and sit in the chair, wears noise-canceling headphones, and look into the paintings. No cell phones allowed. Just look at Van Gogh's Starry Night for 15 minutes or 30 minutes. I think it's important to understand what a painting and its colors can do to your nervous system, what that energizes you, what tranquilizes you, what irritates you. Especially only a billionaire could afford the luxury of seeing a masterpiece alone. But this, typically a billionaire, but this project would allow anyone who wishes to participate to simply be with the work for a period of time and truly feel its effects. Wow. Yeah, there's this thing that's going on online of people talking about art, and they say this girl was like dressing up funny in different ways for the sake of art. She was trying to be artistic, and somebody said that she didn't look pretty, and the reaction to that is she's not supposed to look pretty. She's trying to be art, and art isn't supposed to be pretty. It's supposed to make you feel something. And I feel like that person would probably like this woman a lot. Anyway. Okay. Last out of the objects. Rose of Jericho. The Rose of Jericho demonstrates vitality. Wherever you take it, it survives. Wow. Is this a loop? Yeah, I think this is a loop. Okay. Okay, I can do this. In 1978, Yulei, her ex-partner, and I took a month-long trip from the one end of America to the other. Used to it? Woo! Go America. Um, Towards the end of our trip, we were driving through Death Valley in California when he pointed to an extremely dry little bush being carried by the wind. He told me it was the Rose of Jericho. I saw what seemed to be a dead plant and found it hard to believe there could be life inside. I took this Rose of Jericho to an old gas station off the side of the road, where I immersed it in water. After 1 hour, I saw it turning green. Suddenly, the plant was fully alive. Wow, I thought, this is the ideal plant for me. I like this lady. um After suddenly the plant was fully alive. Wow, I thought, this is the ideal plant for me. The Rose of Jericho is like a nomad itself. In its dry form, it can travel and live for hundreds of years, and all it takes is 1 hour in water for it to fully transform and come alive. When you empty the water, the Rose of Jericho goes back to its dry form. After that, Yulei and I always talked about timing one of our performances to a Rose of Jericho in a pot of water. The idea was to stop our work at exactly the moment the plant opened and turned green. We never did it. It was always a dream, but I thought about this fascinating and rare phenomenon of nature ever since. The Rose of Jericho demonstrates vitality. Wherever you take it, it survives. I have created a strong emotional relationship to the plant, this wonder of nature, which comes so close to immortality. I have kept a few of these plants everywhere I've lived and traveled since. When I lived in Amsterdam for many years, I would buy them at the flower market. Today in New York, I have 3 of them with me right now. When I travel, I always pack a dry Rose of Jericho. I like knowing it uh, I like knowing it is asleep in my suitcase and that I can bring it to life whenever I want. I have created a strong emotional relationship with the plant. Its wonder of nature, which comes so close to immortality. The Rose of Jericho is nature's show of resistance. I look to nature for the things that fascinate me because it makes me happy to see life. Whenever I look at the Rose of Jericho, even in dry form, I know there is life inside. This is so interesting. Wait, did I miss something? Wait, go back. Gallery. What does that mean? Oh, okay. This is the home. So yeah, we just went through all of them. So the Starry Night, the Stone from Mars, Quartz stones, Regarding the Pain of Others, Rose of Jericho. Wow. This is such a psychedelic website. It's so cool. Okay. And last two things, the interview and about. So I'm going to go to about first because I want to hear a little bit more about her before I read what she says. Okay. You know what? I've done so much reading already. Let's just keep going with it. So go into about. About Traces, an immersive digital time capsule created by We Present and Marina Abramovic. Much of Marina's celebrated art focuses not on physical objects but a transfer of energy, the elusive chemistry between people, the effects of time, and the shared human experience. Whether the experience is sitting face to face, locked in a mutual gaze with members of the public in New York's Museum of Modern Art, or being bound by hair to her late ex-partner Yule for 17 hours straight. And it is the artistic practice that informs Traces, an immersive digital and physical experience created by Abramovic in collaboration with We Present. Traces will live as a digital experience within We Present and a digital exhibition of London's Truman Brewery in September 2021. It is part of Traces. The artist selected 5 items that she would choose to preserve for future generations: the Rose of Jericho, Quartz stones, Stone from Mars, the Vincent van Gogh painting, The Starry Night, and Susan Sontag's book Regarding the Pain of Others. The items do not belong to Marina in any traditional sense. They belong to nature, history, the public, and the cosmos. They provide the connections that the artist has made with nature, with people through her art, friendships, travels, losses, and joys. About this experience, the We Present and Marina partnership has conceived to explore the notion of legacy and the transference of knowledge, ideas, and creativity through the generations. As a performance artist, Marina has long toyed with the questions of what happens to the performance once the artist has no longer present to perform it. How does the art continue to evolve? How do we understand it? How do we arm the next generation of artists and practices necessary to the continued questioning and learning and creating? Throughout this year-long partnership with Marina, in collaboration with Represent, created a number of objects to address these thoughts. This began with artists taking the reins as We Present's first ever guest curator, selecting 5 rising performance artists that she feels will come to define the future of the art form. For the second installment of the partnership, and for the first time ever, Abramovic digitalized her famed The Abramovic Method, providing a bespoke, immersive WeTransfer wallpaper experience. The wallpaper experience, which has shared with WeTransfer's 80 million monthly users in 190 countries, featured 4 videos, each one depicting the artist performing a key exercise from the Abramovic method: drinking water, slow motion walking, counting rice, and mutual gazing. The partnership culminated in Traces, an immersive experience in both digital and physical form. The digital experiences launched on We Present, with its physical counterpart taking the form of a 4-day exhibition in London's Truman Brewery. For Traces, Abramovic created a time capsule of objects to preserve for future generations, featuring 5 items that have little to do with the material possession and everything to do with the connection she has made with nature and with people throughout her art, friendships, travels, losses, and joys. Wow. So, We Present interview. So these are all credits. Wow, this is a very big thing. And the last thing that we're going to look at is the interview. Oh, here she is. Okay. As part of the opening night of Traces, physical counterpart taking the form of a 4-day exhibition in London's Truman Brewery, Marina was interviewed on stage in front of a small audience by Tim Barlow, her longtime friend and director and chief executive of London's Design Museum. You can also watch that interview in full and hear Marina discuss not just her creative process, but also reveal candid thoughts on life, love, and how she deals with critics. So I am going to put the mic closer to the computer so you can hear her. Make this. Oh, this is 45 minutes. I'll just play like the first couple.
Stage entrance you made was in Paris at the Opera at the Palais Garnier. How was that?
Wait a second. What? Did something happen? I just came from Paris. I made the 7 Deaths of Maria Callas, and if somebody told me 10 or even 15 years ago that you would do opera as a performance artist, I think you're totally crazy. I mean, it's insane to do opera. Opera is such an old form of art. It's like dinosaurs of art. You sit there 4 hours, 5 hours. Basically, it's a little bit boring in my case. But then I wanted to do this work with Maria Callas. And I wanted to do this work for a long, long time. When I was only 14 years old, I was in the kitchen of my grandmother and in the breakfast, and we always had this old bakelit radio, listening sound, music, and the news, whatever. In ex-Yugoslavia, always bad news. But anyway, in one point came this incredible voice. And I remember stand up in the middle of the kitchen and start crying. I was 14 and I cried. And the voice really made me so emotional. And then later on, the speaker said this was the voice of Maria Callas and blah, blah, blah. And then I want to know everything about Maria Callas. I want who she was and why she had such emotional reaction on me. And this was long, long time ago. And now, finally, I made this opera. It's about 7 deaths of Maria Callas. In every opera, women die for love. And, she died for love too. And I almost died for love in my life. And my work saved me, but her work didn't save her. So I was thinking it was a moment to have homage to her.
There are some very distinguished and important emerging actors in.
Huh. She seems like a very unique person that would be really interesting to talk to. So yeah, that's the wrap up on the site itself. So what are my thoughts on it? Because I was just talking about the content for most of it. So I think that it's so cool. It's really immersive. You down here, I noticed you have the on off pretty much for the audio. I liked. So I was actually able to keep my attention for all of this reading. Usually, when there's a lot of reading, I kind of lose attention or I don't want to read the whole thing. But the way that she did it was really cool. Because if you see here on the Quartz, it keeping these things sticky gives you just more context on where you are, and also the way that she broke things up, the way that they had this call out here, it was easy to keep your attention. And I liked how there was a separation about her and everything like that. I thought everything was really easy to understand, and I'm just really interested in this woman, so I'll probably be following her a bunch of different places. So it says they have her Facebook here and her Twitter here. Usually I just check them to make sure that it's working. So, because sometimes people have their links, but then they're not working, because you don't always check those. So it seems like this is supposed to go to the different social media stuff. It's taking a little bit to process. Interesting. Yep. So I clicked on Facebook and Twitter, and it just took me to the regular site. So you might want to fix that because they aren't taking you to Facebook and Twitter. Super common thing that I've seen on other things that I've done video reactions to. But yeah, cool site. Thanks for that. And so I'm going to check out the people who made this site. So I'm going to exit out of this just to move a little faster, and we transfer. So these are the people that made it, and they made it in the Netherlands. Alex Watson. Who are you? Do you have a site? Alex Watson. What's WeTransfer? WeTransfer. WeTransfer. This seems like it's right. Same Amsterdam, Netherlands, WeTransfer. Huh. Okay, so this is just sending big files. Oh, so maybe WeTransfer sponsored this in terms of the collaboration. I don't know who Alex Watson is. If I can learn more about this, whoever made the site, Alex Watson, or any of the credentials, I'll put them in the description. But yeah, this was really fun. Thank you to whoever worked on this. This was a really unique project, and I learned a lot from it. So thanks. At the end, if you want to learn anything about me or anything like that, or you just want to know who I am, my name is Emily Giordano. I'm a web designer and Webflow developer and UX person from the US, obviously, from the way that I'm talking. And if you want to find me anywhere, if you want to work on a project or you want to listen to my podcast or come on my podcast or something like that, you can find me at Emily, EMILY, at greatdesignlead.com. Greatdesignlead.com is my company site. Great Design Lead podcast is the podcast that you can listen to. This is the Great Design Lead channel. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Great Design Lead, and that's enough with me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later.